Welcome to Underwater CSI International Revealed, and I'm your host, Senior Investigator Rich Morin, and with me, as always, is my business partner in crime.
Co-host, as always, senior investigator Ed Myron.
What's going on, Ed?
Well, fun one for today, Rich. It's going to
Yeah,
be
we got
good.
a different show today.
I like it.
We're not going to talk about one of the actual cases that we've been working on, but we're going to talk about a training exercise that we were doing with a public safety team,
Yep.
and how we get them to this point, and then we let them do something very fun for everybody at the end. And
Yeah.
so we just thought we'd bring that up today. But it's not all doom and gloom all the time. You got to
E-
have
e-
fun once in a while.
exactly.
So what we're doing is we're training a public safety team um, for high speed roll offs out of a boat. And the reason we do that is because time is of the essence when there's an accident, especially if you have near drowning individuals that can be rescued. So time is of the essence. So we teach them how to do a lot of different things, including speed dress. We teach them how to pack gear bags for quick donning.
Right.
And we time them on it. They do it many, many, many times. To where eventually we can have them go from street clothes into full dive gear in just a matter of minutes.
Right.
Um, when they first start off, they're up around the 20-minute mark, when they're first starting off, but they eventually get it down over just a few minutes.
Right.
So, and it's all technique, practice, confidence, learning their equipment a little bit better, teaching them different ways to don their equipment, self-don, do their own pre-dive safety checks, etc. So we got a lot of tips and suggestions for that. Um, but anyway, you can deploy a skin diver team though a lot quicker than you can a dive team.
Right.
So because they have a lot less gear to assemble and put on. So what we've done in a lot of cases is we will have a mock accident scene out in the water, and the boat's going to respond. The skin diver team that was designated will quickly don their equipment, run down. We run them out, and we run them right past the outside of the accident scene,
Right.
and they do a high speed roll off the boat, and a lot of times they can secure the scene to make sure it's safe for the boat to come in with the dive team on it, or if you got victims that are in relatively shallow water, 30, 40 feet or so, they can skin dive down, recover the victim, bring them up, and
Right.
start doing in water resuscitation on them.
Yeah.
So preferably we use, two boats. So one will actually stay out there with the skin diver team. They'll just back off until the scene's secured or until they get the signal to come in.
Right.
And then the other boat is waiting for the dive
The
team, the
dive
scuba
team.
team.
Right.
Yeah.
Yep.
So um, on this particular day, we're doing the high speed roll offs. So we start off with skin diving equipment. Why don't you talk a little bit about that, Ed?
Yeah. So they're basically to have all their skin diving equipment, mask fins, and snorkel on the boat, and they're in their gear, like you said, as we take them out to the scene. So they're in all their dive gear,
No weight
red,
belts.
right, no weight belts,
Yeah.
ready to be deployed into what we call the drop zone,
Yep.
right? So that's just like what you just said, outside that actual accident area, but within that drop zone, we can drop them off safely, and then they can access the accident area, the actual area that they're going to be working.
Yeah. Um, so the teams will be ready, and they're buddy teams opposite of each other, port and starboard side, and
Right.
they're line the boat. So we might have multiple teams, three, four, even five, six teams that are there as far as buddy teams go. And the stern divers always start off first. And the reason being is if bow divers go first and the boat is continuing to move forward, the
Right.
next team that drops off could end up right on top of those people.
Right.
So the stern divers always go first as the boat's continuing on. Then the next team, next team, next team, next team.
Right.
So how do we do that, Ed? How do we do that where the timing is going to be eventually perfect on that?
Right. So, and I know you're going to talk about it a little bit, but we don't start off right away, high speed and go, right?
Right.
We're going to start off at a very slow speed, kill the engine, kind of coast in there. So, how we prepare them is as we're going out to the scene, we're going to say the drop zone's coming up. And then we're going to say, well, sorry, we're going to say divers ready, rescue divers ready. They're going to give us, you know, an okay, right?
Well, they yell back ready.
Ready.
Yeah,
Yep.
because it's either
Sorry.
ready or no.
Right.
So that there's not,
So,
it's not like go versus no. What did they say? Because all the noise of the engine and the water and everything,
right.
and then screaming for the first time.
Yeah.
No. But yeah, it's rescue divers ready, and they
Yep.
yell back ready. If they're
Ready.
not, they yell back no.
Right. And
Right. But
then
otherwise, they yell ready, and then we say as we're approaching, whoever the
drops.
boat operator is. Let's say I'm operating, and you're going to be doing the direction for the rollbacks,
Right.
and I'll say drop zones coming up.
Right.
All right.
And,
So
and
you're standing back by the stern now, right in the
right.
middle of the vessel, and you're going to walk down
The
basically
center.
the beam of the boat, on the
Right.
deck. You're just going to walk straight toward the bow.
Right.
Yep.
And I'm going to yell out stern divers. And I have my fist. Let's see. Here's the camera. Okay. I have my fist like this, and I yell
Like
out
right in
stern.
front of their faces,
Yep.
again
Stern
in the middle of the
divers.
boat. So they're focused on it.
Right. 3, 2, 1. Drop. They drop.
And when the fist comes down, that's when they drop. Just in case they're having a hard time hearing you, they can see the signals.
Right. And then I continue to walk up the vessel.
Now
Drop.
as they're going over,
Yep.
I take and I throw a dive flag in immediately following. As I see legs going up, I'm throwing a dive flag in the water.
Right.
All right. Because again, the boat's still moving. I mean, right. The first time we're just barely moving. I mean, we're just kind of coasting along.
Right. And then I continue up the center of the boat. Drop. Drop. And then the other dive teams roll in.
Yeah.
Then
So we're not doing 3, 2, 1 drop now.
right.
Only on the first divers, it's 3, 2, 1 drop, 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 because the
Right.
boat's going to be moving eventually, and we want them to try to stay together as a
As a
relatively
team.
tight team, and especially based on visibility, because eventually they're going to work their way up to where they're going to do rollbacks with dive gear on,
Right.
and they're going to be underwater. They have to regroup in order to do a search pattern, and then continue on their way with a search pattern.
Right.
Yeah.
And just as we're getting ready to make our turn, I'm giving the big okay, and the dive team that's in the water on the surface is giving us the okay back. We're making that turn to come back, and then we're coming between all the divers. And as we basically turn the engine off, they approach the boat, but they don't approach the boat until we basically tell them to approach
Divers
the boat.
approach the boat.
Right.
Yeah. When they first do it, they learn to roll back and they kind of kick away from the boat a little bit.
Right.
And then who's ever closest to the flag recovers the dive flag. So they stay there. So they're out in the water kind of floating around like this. And like you said, we turn around and come back between them.
Right.
And then we, kind of slow down and just kind of easy, coast in. And then, divers approach the boat.
Right.
And then, they'll kick in and then kick up onto the pontoons and swing your legs in. So now the stern divers are now the bow divers.
Right.
Right. And so the port divers on the starboard side and vice versa. So it gives them that experience to, try something a little different.
Right.
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 And then what we'll do too is the people that are in the middle, we'll kind of move them around also, right, before they get back into the boat. Okay, you guys,
Switch.
swap. So everybody has a chance to be a stern diver, midship diver, and then bow diver.
Bow diver. Right.
Yep.
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 And
So then what? Then we practice it again.
yep.
A couple times like that.
Yep. Couple of times like that. And
Until
then
you get the timing down.
right. Then once the timing is down and everybody feels comfortable with it, and they're not crying for their moms or anything like that, everybody's comfortable. Then we're gonna go into the drop zone.
I need to pet a puppy.
Yeah. um, then we're gonna head into the drop zone at a higher rate of speed.
Well, before that though, we practice. We come in a little bit quicker, but still kill the engine.
Right. Right.
And again, a couple times on that. Then we
Right.
come in without killing the engine, but still at a relatively slow speed.
Yep.
Then we pick it up, pick it up, pick it up.
Yeah.
I mean, we do this, I don't know, it's got to be 10 times anyway.
Yeah. I was gonna say
So,
between 10 and 15 times. Yeah.
to really let them get comfortable and let them get the timing down. That's important.
Right.
We want divers to roll off together rather than one roll off, because once they get dive gear on, when one rolls off, if one hesitates, it kind of throws the boat off a little bit. So
Right.
who's ever operating the boat has really got to be on their toes and a good boat operator.
Right. Because if not, the boat will skid, kind of like skids, because
Yeah,
the weight of the diver is kind of pushing it from one side to the other if they're
yeah,
not even.
yeah. So after we've done all that with skin diving,
Yep.
then we head back to the training site and they get into full dive gear
Right.
with air in their BCDs.
Right.
But full dive gear, weight belts, everything. They've got everything on.
Right.
And
And
now
then
we do
we,
the exact same procedure,
right.
but we do it with full dive gear.
Right.
And same thing, engine cut, just coasting in, off they go. Then a little quicker engine cut, and then eventually, high speed.
Right.
So same thing. They do this about 10, 15 times. They're exhausted. Been a long day.
Yep.
And that's pretty much what they've been working on now for quite a few hours. And but it's they become very proficient in it.
Yeah.
So
And
on this
now,
particular day, what's
well,
that?
now we um the last time they do the rollback, we have them basically drop under, take all the air out of their BC, right? And then we head back out and the drop
Well, they
zone.
descend and scuba back in along the contour, up the contour with
Right.
shallow water.
Right. We're gonna drop them into the drop zone. They're gonna descend. Now they're gonna kick down and descend, form that line to do a search pattern up the contour, right? So they
Yep.
do their search pattern up the contour, and you noticed uh, the Minne Ha-Ha was coming by, and
Yeah, coming up behind us.
yep, and you
Yep.
said, "Hey, uh, how's everybody feel?" Well, yeah, like you just said, everybody was a little tired, but you said, "Hey, you want to do something fun? You want to do something, for all
Put on
the
a
people,
show.
yeah, all the people on the Minne Ha-Ha," and they were like,
Hundreds of
"Yeah,
people on this boat.
yeah, it was packed, right?" And let me just, I'll pull up the picture of the boat. So
And
there's
the captain is John Carney.
right,
John was captain for years and years and years on this boat. He's also a fellow scuba instructor, and John would always walk out from the bridge itself. He'd walk out that side door right there, and always give us the big okay. He'd
yep,
always give
right
us the
here,
toot on the whistle, on the steam whistle, and every single time John went by, it
yep,
was just a lot of fun, a lot of camaraderie right there. But you can see all the people in the middle,
yep, right here,
with all the glass windows, all the people up on top, etc. So on this particular day, here comes the Minne Ha-Ha. So after we picked up the divers, we were heading back to the training site. So we're actually going the opposite direction, and the Minne Ha-Ha is heading back to port.
right,
So everybody agrees, and we tell everybody, listen, it's got to be perfect. You're going to have a lot of people that are going to end up watching.
right,
Right. And so once they saw us coming, and the boat's all lettered up and we got the light bar and stuff like that. And we hit it all. I mean, we turned on the lights and
yep,
everything else. So, of course, people are starting to look and stand up and more people are coming over. And,
yeah,
we got right up alongside of it midship and we're going at a pretty good clip right now. And same thing, rescue divers ready.
yep,
And
yep,
they all yell back ready. And it was drop zones coming up.
yep.
And then here
Stern
we've been.
divers,
Yep.
stern divers. 3, 2, 1, drop, 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 drop.
And the teams are just going over absolutely perfect.
Perfect.
And people on the boat were just going crazy.
Yeah,
They were all screaming and yelling and yay!
yeah. People clapping, people taking pictures.
Yeah. Captain Carney comes out and he's just giving us not a big okay like he usually gives us. He's giving us a big
The
salute. And
salute. Yep.
we're giving him the big salute back, because then we were cranking now. We,
Yeah.
did a high speed turn.
Yep.
And then, the divers went right down and started coming up the contour, et cetera. But when they do that, we don't throw the flag on the last one when they have no air in their BC and they drop
Right.
off. What they do is they drop off and just continue to kick right down. So they just drop off upside down on a rollback. And as they hit the water, they just continue to kick down and then regroup on the bottom
Right.
along straight line. We have a large dive flag hanging off our bow. We crank around, we stay behind the divers and escort them in and keep any boats from coming
Right.
near them at
Near
all.
them. Right.
So we are their dive flag.
Yeah.
And then they come into shallow water and then they stand up. They come all the way up to where they can stand, not
Right.
pop and then inflate their BCs. And then we just kind of coast in nice and easy. Everybody gets back into the boat. But it
Yeah.
was perfect. I mean,
It,
it was just, I couldn't have been more proud of those people.
yeah. It
They
was
did an
great.
amazing job that day.
And everybody was cheering and he had the whistle going on the Minne Ha-Ha.
Yep. Just
And
do, 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 do,
yeah,
do, do, do.
so that was on the weekend. That was on a
Yeah.
weekend. So
Yep.
what comes out in the paper? The I think it was Tuesday's paper,
Yep.
right? The article with the a shot of the boat with you and I in the boat, and the John and some of the staff talking about what a great exhibition it was. How everybody, and I think didn't he? I think he called you even and said, "Hey, is this something that you could do every week because it was such a
Yeah, it'd be
success?"
great if we could do this on a weekly basis.
Yeah, because it was such a success. Everybody just loved it, and they were like, he was like, "Hey, is this possible for you to do every weekend?"
Yeah, every time the Minne Ha-Ha goes by, which is how many times, how many times a day? Six
Yeah,
times a day, maybe.
yeah,
Like, yeah,
exactly.
we'll just kind of hide in the woods, all right, you guys ready?
Yeah,
Minne Ha-Ha's coming up.
yeah. I thought that was the article was great, the picture was great, but then the phone call, that was, hey, is there any chance you guys could do this on a regular basis?
Yeah,
Because
John was going, oh my God, that was just absolutely amazing. But
yeah, and
yeah,
everybody on the boat, it was a great success.
yeah, it's things like that. I mean, over the years, we developed a lot of courses, for professional CSI training and stuff. And it's things like that, the speed dressing, how to pack your bags, et
Right,
cetera. Kind of like a fireman, when the alarm goes off, they've got to, they got all their stuff already. They've got their pants already inside the boots, et cetera, already pulled down. They basically jump into them, pull them up, put their jacket on, their helmet. So they've got it all set up so they're not making any wasted moves.
right,
And that's exactly what we teach when we were teaching the speed dressing and observation skills and stuff like that.
right,
Not just speed dressing, but they also have to continue to focus on the water and continue to look at the last known spot.
right,
So they got to learn how to do that. And they've really got to learn how to set up all their gear and put it all on without looking at it.
right,
Just grab it. And the other thing is, the least amount of times they got to bend over or reach into their bag, the faster they're going to be. So we got to teach them how to, pull multiple pieces of equipment out while donning and holding on, et cetera.
right. And
Yep.
what's also so important is working together as a dive team.
As a team,
Right.
not
So,
not just as a buddy team, but as a
right,
team in general.
right,
And you
right.
keep yelling out, where you're at,
You know,
and you keep scanning. So if somebody's falling behind or there's wetsuit got tangled up as they're trying to put it on, somebody is right there to help them out. So again, everybody gets discouraged and we kind of beat them up pretty bad the first day. Nobody passes the first day.
right,
When they get down to the water and they're out in chest deep water and we're looking at them and stuff and we're basically doing pre-dive safety checks and everybody and there's problems all over the place the first time they're so nervous and everything, but
right,
we're looking at everybody and just saying, what, you're useless to the dive team. You're not ready to go, you're not ready to respond. You've got all this problems, blah, blah, and we pick everything, all the little details and stuff, and then just you're useless to the dive team. Get away from me. I don't want to look at you. That type of thing. So we kind of crush them a little bit. On day two, they get a little bit better, and day three, a little bit better. And,
right,
probably, by the end of the week, they're doing they're doing real well,
right. And
real well. They can't
it,
believe that they can go from 20 minutes plus to, just a matter of minutes now to get
right,
in the water with all their gear on and zero equipment problems
right. And
as
it's
a
like,
team,
right,
not
as a
just
team.
individuals, but as a team.
Right,
Because what happens on the first day? Everybody's running down alone,
right, by
as they're getting done.
themselves.
Oh, hey, look at, yay, I'm all done. You
I'm
are?
first. I'm the
Yeah.
first one in the water.
Yeah.
Really? Where's your weight belt?
But
Oh,
yeah. Oops.
yeah, yeah.
Uh,
But it's like you said, um, that day with the Minne Ha-Ha. I mean, we had been out there for hours, right, working with the skin diving team, but then working with the actual scuba dive team. So those same individuals were out there all day long, working on perfecting those rollbacks at up to pretty high speeds. So I mean, it's not like they're only out there for an hour or two. We're out there for hours on end.
and there's a fine line. You have to know the maximum speed that you can go in the boat. You gotta train. The boat operator has to train,
Right,
because ultimately, you're going to be responsible for if somebody gets hurt. You can't be going so fast that when they hit the water, all of a sudden it's like hitting, concrete slab,
right,
and they're going to go flying, and all their gears all over the place, and someone's going to get hurt. You have
right,
to know that right speed and nothing faster.
right,
Um, yeah, so I mean, it takes a lot. We ran the boat operator course also,
right,
so people would understand, whoever the boat operators are going to be for the dive team. They went through a lot of training.
right,
We beat them up pretty good because they also had to learn how to do high speed turns, and that gets scary sometimes for some people because they've never done it before, and they don't realize
right,
how the boat's going to react, and so you give them all the training and techniques on that, et cetera.
right. And you
Yeah.
don't want to throw the other guy out of the boat that's in there with
Yeah. I know in the first couple of days they want to throw us out of the
you.
boat.
Yeah, well, yeah. That's quite often.
Yeah. Anyway, so just a little
All
fun.
right.
They worked hard, and so we just decided, hey, let's put on a show for a couple hundred passengers, and they did perfection. It was
Yep.
absolutely perfect.
Yeah, it was great.
Yep.
Yeah. You
All
know,
right, buddy.
let's let's do that every weekend. Yay.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yep. All right. Well, thanks for listening.
All
This
right,
is
pal.
Senior Investigator Ed Myron with
And I'm Senior Investigator Rich Morin, and we thank you for listening to Underwater CSI International Revealed.